Call the EDA to order. We'll get an approval of the agenda. There is one additional under new business.
Make approval. Second.
Matt seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I need approval of the board minutes from March 10th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from March 10, 2025.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Financial reports, you got the program funds report and the outstanding loans report. Nothing changed since last time.
Nothing exciting.
Old business, Medelia Multifamily Housing Loan Program request, 115 Benzel Avenue Southwest.
Now I'm reviewing it, probably could have gone under new business, so my apologies. So last month March 10th, we approved the multifamily housing loan program, and I received an application on March 13th from J. Henry 115 LLC for $125,000 at 3% interest over 20 years. This is for a fourplex, 3 2-bedroom unit with 1 2-bedroom, or one 1-bedroom unit as well, and the total project cost is $530,000. You guys know about this already from the variances that I've been brought forward before. We had a loan review committee meet on March 20th. They recommend that the loan request be approved at the rate, amount, rate, and term contingent on receipt of an as-built appraisal that confirms that the final value will be $530,000 for the total project. Are there any questions? What would be before you guys is to provide a recommendation to the City Council to conditionally approve with adjusted terms, or deny it.
Do we need a vote to bring it to City Council, or just?
Yes, you need to vote to recommend approval or recommend denial.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to recommend its approval.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Greater Minnesota Small Cities Housing Aid Grant Program RFP. And is that under the manufactured housing site prep proposal? Is that?
Yes, yep, all that's together. It's just a really long line. So back in February, I brought forward a proposal to apply for the Tier 2 Cities Grant Program, looking at low-interest loans for support purchase of manufactured homes. The board recommended that I look at a grant application for loans for newer used manufactured homes from 2010 or newer, or down payment assistance. Really, my feeling from all of you was that I really didn't want to do loans, and so when I came back to the Mobile Village, they already have a loan program that's going to support purchase of new homes. It's a 30-year mortgage, but providing funding to actually support site preparation can really make those projects more feasible. You can see here the estimated cost for site preparation is about $30,000, which can be half the cost of a manufactured home. And so providing that will help clean up the space as well as prepare those lots for the homes we brought in. So my recommendation is that we go after a grant in the for $300,000 to provide site preparation assistance to Mobile Village. I spoke with them at their board meeting. There's the number was wrong, it's 15 lots. They also have 4 abandoned lots that they're working to get title on. So that could be a potential 19 lots that could use assistance. They also asked if we might be willing to include site preparation as well as demolition. I could put both under the grant proposal with an estimated cost for each to try to clean up the whole space. So you guys can start asking questions. I know there's a lot of details here. So. What are your initial thoughts on the proposal?
Well, I guess I have no problem if that's what they feel is actually going to help facilitate new homes being brought in. With the demolition side of it, how would that work? I mean, you're not going to be able to necessarily have anything to show for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it would be just in the just like a grant for demolition cost, or what are they really looking for there? Partial assistance to, and then assess it, but you can't necessarily do that either since it's, so, yeah, it'd be kind of hard to do.
You can't assess anything to that
No.
except for
Well, I mean,
parcel. And
except-
that's everybody.
Right, but you could assess it towards their total
You know,
property tax, you know, and spread it out throughout the park, but I don't know how that would work.
You could just use a portion of the $300,000 for demolition, right, just as a grant.
Yeah.
But is there concern about the fact that that doesn't make it a viable lot, or what's the concern?
Well, I guess I'd be concerned as to what percentage you're really looking at as far as, and whose responsibility it is, you know, because their park association should really, hopefully be trying to do as much of that as possible with or without our help to make it a more viable, you know, association moving forward. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't have any issues with, if they feel that's actually gonna be more help.
Did they say they would do demolition right there on site then, or would they hook up to it?
I think you have to remove it. They haven't done it in a number of years, so they don't have that stuff in. I think their concern is actually, so the price estimates I have here, the 30,000 came from North Country Cooperative Foundation. And the Mobile Village felt that maybe those were on the high end of those costs. And so they wanted to make sure that if we got $300,000, we could use all of it. So demolition would be another potential source. And that would only be for those 4 lots that have abandoned properties on them.
No, that grant would only, or that site prep would only be for those 4 lots. Are there things on those 4 lots right now?
So there's 15 lots that have nothing, that need
Yep.
site preparation of some sort, electrical maybe, a cement pad, something. And then there's 4 lots that have abandoned property on it. They're working to get the title cleaned up. Potentially those lots are decrepit and need to be demoed. So that's what that would go towards. So then, if all of those were cleaned up, you'd have 19 lots potentially available for new homes to be brought in.
As far as what the grant can and can't do if we receive it, that's all up to us, or that's up to also who's supplying the funding for the grant will have restrictions as to what we can and can't do with it.
They have restrictions of what we can and can't do with it, so they have to meet the income requirements, what is placed on there, the homes that go there. It's either 80% or 115%. I don't know which, because I don't know if they're gonna decide that that is a rental or a homeownership project. These are allowable as affordable housing development projects, this category of work, demolition or site preparation.
Okay. I mean, I think it's probably valuable to go after the grant itself as far as what's gonna be, you know, a better use of the money if we receive it. That's probably has a lot more to do with what's going on at the Mobile Village at the time. I mean, if they actually have interested parties in bringing in new trailers and they have a loan program and stuff that is gonna help people purchase, then yeah, lot prep is probably a decent idea to facilitate it.
And I have a planned visit on Thursday at noon. They're gonna have North Country Cooperative Foundation come down and actually walk the properties, and we're gonna try and get a priority list too of which lots we would help in order. So we could decide, I mean, we're the ones getting this grant, we could decide these are the lots we want you to help in this order, this is how we want you to do it, or we could say, what are their priorities and follow.
I mean, I think if we could prioritize the more visible lots, that would definitely help.
Does the Center Street project run all the way up through that road?
Yes.
All the way to the back end?
Yeah.
and I already proposed on that top half in that one lot, if they wanted to put stubs in, you know, to each, like,
Right.
if you were to parcel it off or whatever, and they don't want it.
They don't, who doesn't want it?
The Mobile Village doesn't want it. They don't have to use them, but I was thinking like for future, like,
We could put that in the boulevard or something, wouldn't you, if they're gonna,
we could just pull them in just so that they'd be there. And I'm looking at, okay, so if Mobile Village, you know, later on down the road or whatever, they're there, if they wanted to sell off or develop a different way. Or take that off of their infrastructure and have those homes go directly into our system versus through their system. Because I know their infrastructure
It's gotta be
needs
just,
work.
it's gotta be just as old as everything else. to
They
where-
had a recent sewer project, but it wasn't done correctly, so they've been working to try to get that corrected.
So part of me just thinks just to sell them in and just be done with it.
Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea.
And even in that intersecting road, they're leaving some kind of connecting point if it needs to come back to the south and in. I mean, if we're tearing it all apart, it would be the opportunity to
Yeah, even like.
have that outlet there.
It's the both of the blocks, it's not even the last block, but it's the block before, so you got
Right.
Bill Davis, right?
Right.
And then there's those lots also that could be addressed also. Because all those lots are empty at this time.
Yeah, I would definitely stub in pen services to each individual parcel that's existing.
Well, you gotta be careful, I mean, if you look at it on the way they plat it, or, plot it out in between their houses, or do we take what a normal size lot is?
Well, yeah,
and
I
sell it
mean,
in that way?
It must have a utility easement there though, right? Along that center street.
Right. We have the boulevard, so
Right.
it's not like we can sell them and just leave them. But it would always be that they would be accessible if it was ever developed in a different way. You guys ponder, Adam and I have had this conversation, and I have talked to Mobile Village, but they didn't want to do it, but I fear that in the future, as their infrastructure starts to fade, that they may have to rely on us a little bit more.
I would, depending on, do you think there's 7 in a normal plating? I guess I can look on Beacon and see how many actual subdivided lots are there. In a normal plating, there would be 7 to 10
I
lots.
don't, to look at, yeah, I'd have to look at it to see what the footage is.
But I guess what I'm saying is the original plating might be done already,
Way back when,
right?
I think the last plat was a handwritten one, if I remember right.
Yeah, it is all one parcel.
Yeah. But the parcel, or the plat before what it is now was handwritten, and so
But there would have been 5 lots on the adjacent side, that would probably just mirror that.
So you're just looking for us for number 5.2 just to get approval to go through with it?
You have to go with your site preparation. And if there's a preference to exclude demolition from it, I'll exclude that.
I think demolition is very important. I know you're looking for actual value, but actually cleaning it up and making it more
Is valuable.
attractive is.
Oh, yeah,
adding
I don't
value
disagree.
to Invite more.
I'm just wondering what percentage of that grant should go towards demolition, are we gonna have full control as to what gets,
We do. Yeah, so, yeah, whatever I put forward in the proposal.
so yeah, you could definitely include demolition and site prep.
I do feel $30,000 is quite high on the demo.
Well, quite high on site prep.
Site prep,
And it is, but each one's gonna create a different scenario, so at least you've got a buffer zone in there. I mean, each one might need something different.
Yeah, I guess the most recent ones I've seen, they were set on, like, sonotube pilings and not necessarily set on concrete pads anymore either, so I'd have to imagine that 30,000 is, unless there's some major utility work that needs to be done, is probably a pretty strong estimate. But, yeah, I have no problem with either. Can somebody make that motion?
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. New business. Cannabis?
I don't know, So, I just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention again. I've been kind of hitting Chris like, hey, should we talk about this yet? Should we talk about this yet? And I got, an alert from the League of Minnesota Cities that brought it up again today. The Office of Cannabis Management, closed out a licensure timeframe, and as part of that, they also said rulemaking should be approved at the end of Q1, which is this week. And then licenses should come to the municipalities and localities, shortly thereafter, with all these licenses. We haven't received anything. I really want to see where the board is at in regards to cannabis. Do we need a working group to talk about this? Should I bring it up now? You guys want to have discussion? I want to support Chris and all of you guys to make sure that we're doing what we need to do too.
We don't know where everybody's at on that.
Because we could delegate authority to the counties to do stuff. We can keep our authority local. You guys know about the number. I think it's like 1 in 12,500 population. There needs to be one cannabis business. And if you have a municipal one, it doesn't count towards that limit, or that required minimum.
If you have a municipal, and I didn't get a chance to read all that, if you have a municipal, is it like a liquor store, like then they can't have another one?
Nope, there still is allowed to be one other in the community. We were talking about taxes as well. We are not allowed to do our own taxes. However, there is state and local sales taxes that are involved. Cannabis gross receipts tax proceeds are allocated as follows: 20% to the local government cannabis aid account and 80% to the state general fund. That 20% to the local government cannabis aid account, half of that goes to counties, half to cities, and then you get a proportion based on how many cannabis businesses you have in your community. So we can't have our own tax in addition to that.
Has the county talked anymore, Jim, about any of this?
Right now, it's pretty much hands off.
But you can have a license fee or a permit fee.
That's the only way we can generate the revenue that way. However, I'd be curious about all these other taxes and how much of that is actually allocated back.
And I don't think we'll know that until the state starts to add them to see what portion we even would get.
So it'd be 10% of the 20%, is what you're saying, right? You said 20% local taxes, but 10% of that goes to state and 10% goes to local.
So 20% of the taxes goes to the cannabis aid account, 80% to the state, and then half of that goes to cities, half of that goes to counties. So,
Yeah.
So 20%.
5% then?
Huh?
You're gonna have to show.
Yeah, no. Main cable education there.
And then from there, whatever small percentage goes to Medelia, right? I'm guessing the cities are going to have numerous of these, and we might have a handful if we allow them.
But we can set a cap on how many are allowed too.
Yep, the max, or the minimum cap, whatever. You can't go less than one per municipality. And I don't know how that works with the county. I mean, the population, I haven't seen. If we have one and St. James has one, I think if we have our own local authority, we each can have one.
That was my understanding. Well, they come, we talk, we're just gonna stay out of it unless we have 87 of them want to get it or something, Let the cities do it if they want to. So.
So do we need a working group? Do you guys want to discuss now? I think that we should probably have a decision by at least my next CBA meeting in April about how we want to proceed, what roles, if we have to do something with zoning locally.
Let's say,
Well, wouldn't we want to wait until the state figures out their stuff?
What else do we want the state to figure out? No, state needs.
I don't know.
The state has the process already described.
Okay.
We would have to sign up for something to review applications and approve them as well.
I think we need to at least get some bones to something put together so there's something there of if somebody does come forward.
Well, right now we have a moratorium in place, right?
Correct.
And that goes till what, August, September?
I don't
I
know.
remember, so that sounds about right.
Does that still work if the state rulemaking goes into place here sooner? It's allowed?
Yeah, the moratorium stands for the period of time that we set it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if
I
this
say,
is regulation.
We could even extend it another 6 months based on my understanding in our previous discussions. So,
I would say we should do a work group session on it, just because it's a topic that should be done right, properly, and not just hurried through.
So, like a public workshop just on cannabis? Or do you want like 2 of you from the board to go through and do that?
Like you were saying, now it's time to do it. I don't want to say it's quiet because then I'll jinx it and we'll be bombarded,
I'd
but
just say we just do it as a group, but you or.
we'll do it at next workshop, next meeting on the 14th of April. Give you guys a little bit of time to start.
What are you looking at doing? Just, putting together the fee structure for licensing?
Basically looking at Celia to lead the way on this.
Or you wanna put together zoning for where it can and can't be?
Well, it's all
I
that.
think it's all that.
The whole
Yeah, number
entire
one.
statutory scheme for the city.
Are we wanting to take on this responsibility? And if we are, then we have to put all of, the zoning, the permitting, the everything together.
What's allowed and what's not, there's 3 different licenses from what I've read from other cities that are dealing with the same thing.
I was just gonna say, is there other models out there that we can, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, just take apart and take what we like or change what we like and.
Cause before I get volunteered in another meeting,
I think you all make some, you're gonna write it there, and there's some sensible choices, I felt, I mean, the distances. and
you're gonna write a bind?
Yeah.
It makes sense to keep.
Yeah, I was reading theirs last night, and they've got a pretty straightforward, it has to be so far from school and so far.
Parks and different things like that.
Yeah.
So I can pull up some of those too and see if there's any other communities doing it, any of my CF communities doing it, and bring that on April 14th. It'd be at your public workshop, so it's not another meeting outside the one you already go to, so.
You gotta be there anyway.
Yeah, but I can make sure to do that. So Chris, I'll go so that you don't have to have everyone stare at you.
Like giving me the evil eye, like, smart Andy.
Screaming, maybe.
Well, yes, we're going, are we done with EDA?
Just update, staff report.
Yeah, nothing really exciting in there, you can read through it if you have questions, you know where to find me. The only thing I really want to note is April 8th, we are having a business succession workshop. This is in partnership with the Lake Crystal EDA. Business succession is about preparing businesses for transitions, whether they be expected, retirement, or unexpected through accidents and such. If you are a business owner in the community, you should go to that. Please invite them. It's at M-Bars, it's free. There'll be food, they have to pay for their own drinks if they want them. The guy who's speaking is from the Small Business Development Center. He's really good. I heard him before. So, and he has a lot of really experience in this. That's it.
Okay, public comment? Can we have a motion to adjourn?
I just want
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
to.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.